In order to change the MastRake, which is the angle of your mast forward or backwards, I use here a builder's tape which is just shackled onto the main halyard, and then what I'll do is pull the main halyard right to the top and measure the distance between the top of the mast and the back of the boat. Now when it's really windy you want to try and tip the mast back a bit, and that tends to make it a lot easier for you going downwind, and it just takes some of the power out of the rig. I don't know all the physics that's involved, I'm sure people know far more than I do, but generally what you'll do is move the pins in the shroud plates here, so you move them down a couple, it'll lengthen the forestay, tip the mast back a bit and make the boat far more controllable in heavy winds. So we just pull this right up, and then you want to try and get it right to the top, and hook that on, always in the same place. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a couple down, but as long as you always mark it off in the same place. And then we go to the back of the boat and measure. On a really windy day like this, it's really not a good idea to do your measurements, because you end up with a fair old bend in the tape with the wind taking it round. So we'll try and do your measurements on a light wind day. Once you've got your tape to the top of the mast, you want to just try and measure it down to the gunnel here. Always choose the same point, either to the fitting, or usually the best point is the bottom edge there. Measure it down, measure the rake, move the mast settings and measure it again, go out on the water, try different settings and see if you think it makes you go faster or slower. The other thing you want to measure, and you want to be quite certain of, is that your mast is absolutely upright. If it's not, the boat won't sail very well on one tack and it'll sail better on the other, and the performance of your sailing will be decreased considerably. Now to measure that, all you do is take your tape from the top of the mast again and just measure down to the gunnel like you did at the rear for the rake, and just check it's exactly the same on both sides, and if it is, then your mast's dead upright. Don't be surprised if your shrouds are different lengths on one side and the other, and you end up at different pinholes on the shroud plate on either side. Mine are like that, but it's quite difficult to get the wire exactly the right length.